Welcome back for our next learning unit in Module 6. In this unit, we briefly look at what life skills are and how to create teachable moments to support life skills development through sport. As an educator or teacher, you are certainly well aware that elementary and primary education forms the bedrock of development. It is in elementary and primary schools that children learn foundational skills that prepare them for life. And in this context, physical education can play an essential role in fostering essential life skills. But what are life skills exactly? As defined by UNICEF, life skills are psychosocial abilities for adaptive and positive behavior that enable individuals to deal effectively with the demands and challenges of everyday life. They are loosely grouped into three broad categories of skills. Firstly, cognitive skills for analyzing and using information. Secondly, personal skills for developing personal agency and managing oneself. And thirdly, interpersonal skills for communicating and interacting effectively with others. We now learned that fundamental life skills are practical and trainable abilities that help individuals succeed in various aspects of life. Based on this definition, we now ask you to think about what are the life skills that are applicable to learn for the children participating in your physical education classes. These may vary due to the age group you are serving or other circumstances. We have scheduled 2 minutes for this reflection. Yet please feel free to take the time you need, whether this may be some minutes more or less. For it, you may stop or fast forward this video. Many thanks for taking some time for this reflection. It is clear that it is strongly characterized by the circumstances and context you face. At the same time, there is no unified list of life skills, and there are various systematics to group them. Our own experience has shown that, in our learning context, there are 10 fundamental life skills which are particularly relevant for children and young people. This is because they are universally applicable in various settings of life, and due to the fact that they can be effectively developed through sport-based and play-based activities. Communication is about expressing thoughts, listening actively, and understanding others. Cooperation refers to working effectively in teams and fostering mutual support. Trust and responsibility refers to developing reliability and accountability in relationships. Foresight means the ability to think ahead and anticipating future consequences. Goal setting is about planning and working towards realistic objectives. Decision-making means evaluating options and making informed choices. Conflict resolution refers to handling disagreements constructively and peacefully. Focus allows maintaining attention and effort over time. Problem solving is about finding solutions to challenges in sport and beyond. And adaptability refers to adjusting to new situations and managing change. Yet, as mentioned before, it is important to note that there are different life skills to be focused on at different age levels of the children, plus their individual development levels, need to be considered respectively. It is therefore up to each educator and teacher to decide which life skills to focus on in their activities with which group. By explicitly integrating life skills development into your physical education class activities, you underline that sport is also a structured educational tool. Through this approach, the children are equipped through your physical education lessons with relevant competencies that enhance their ability to navigate both their academic and everyday challenges. This will ultimately increase their capacity to act and make informed decisions in various aspects of their life. In this perspective, including life skills activities into your physical education lessons can, on the one hand, help you to become aware of a specific skill needs. And on the other hand, it can support you in teaching the basics of these skills. Including life skills activities regularly into your sport classes can then help the children to apply one or more skills in more complex situations and to train them over and over again until they are firmly anchored in their subconscious mind. As explained in prior learning units, a good way to apply life skills development through sport is to exploit teachable moments. These teachable moments can occur either from the context or the situation, or they can be triggered through a planned activity. But regardless how it occurs, a teachable moment should always be followed up with a guided reflection process. You, in your role as PE teacher, play a key role in facilitating these learning opportunities by designing activities that require the use of specific life skills. Plus, by creating reflection spaces where the children can connect their experiences in sport to real-world situations. And by providing positive reinforcement, which means helping the children recognize and apply their skills beyond sport. This support is especially important with younger children. But how to apply this in your physical education class in practice? One approach is to put learners in a situation where they have to leave their normal comfort zone. For example, they may have to confront their fear of heights during a climbing experience or by jumping from a higher obstacle for the first time. Such a challenge can even already arise when a child does not play in their favorite position in a sports game, like football, but it is assigned a different role on the pitch. For example, to be a goalkeeper instead of a midfielder. In any case, it is important as an educator to know your participants well and to challenge the children without overwhelming them. This specifically applies when working with younger children. Another approach is to trust into your participants' abilities and to give them responsibility for something they are up to, but which is still a challenge for them. For example, taking on the role of a team captain, delivering a pre-game address, being a referee, or delivering one part of the warm-up session. Again, be aware of undertaking this challenge in a safe learning environment without overwhelming the children. Another way to deliberately initiate teachable moments is to create sport-based and game-based tasks that require a good amount of group interaction processes. A simple example is to build a tower with boxes that must be brought by teams from one side of the sports hall to the other. This will address effective communication, creative problem-solving, teamwork, leadership, taking on different roles and tasks, or making aligned decisions under time pressure. A simple way to intentionally create such learning opportunities is to play a game that can be used as an analogy for a targeted situation outside sport. For example, you may play tic-tac-toe with the children in the form of a shuttle relay. In this game, the children must decide under time pressure on which cone to place a ring for their team. In the discussion and reflection that follows, you would then have a starting point to discuss whether your participants have already decided on the afternoon school activities they would like to do in the framework of an all-day school setting. Plus, whether they feel pressured to make this decision and why. A tip from our side is to develop your own set of basic game concepts that create engagement and to connect it to a story that you create around it. The games may range from simple run and jump activities to more creative problem solving and cooperation challenges. The topics connected may be as obvious as healthy eating aspects, as well as topics related to bullying or taking care of the environment. As said, life skills can be intentionally developed and reinforced by identifying and leveraging teachable moments that arise through social interaction. Or they can be deliberately created to provide structured opportunities for learning. But regardless how they occur, what is then important is that these teachable moments are always discussed and reflected upon with all participants. There are various methods to structure a reflection, but one widely recognized and practical approach is the reflect, connect, apply methodology. This method follows a structured three-step process. It starts with commonly describing and explaining what has happened and why. Then it is about making a transfer to more general aspects of their life. It means that the participants compare and connect what they experienced during the sports activity or game to similar experiences from their own lives. Then, the children are encouraged to explore how they can apply what they have learned from the game to an area of their daily lives. This helps them to learn and internalize key lessons and to exploit them for their personal development. Through this approach, children are equipped with relevant competencies that enhance their ability to better navigate everyday challenges. For you as educator or teacher, it is important to take sufficient time allowing the children to express what they experienced before moving on to explanations or analysis. Based on this information, in the next learning unit, we provide you with a series of small games to promote life skills learning.